Triple H calls out internet wrestling fans. Plus, a Raw star gets a gimmick refresh, and WWE adds another WrestleMania week show. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. You know what that is?
It's a keyboard, Tom, with the Ultimate Warrior's face paint crudely drawn on a piece of paper and then attached to it.
That's right. Keyboard warriors who will be out in force when they hear what Paul Levesque has been saying about the IWC. What's H been saying now?
Goodness me. He's appeared on the Flagrant with Andrew Schultz. It was terrible. Andrew Schultz show. He was asked about fan opinion of WWE's creative team from people on the internet, and he did not pull any punches, saying, the internet is not real life. The bitching and flipping complaining that is on there is not real life. You can read the internet and it will sound like this thing is dead. I'll use Cody as an example. Cody has already jumped the shark. He's dead as a babyface. Really? I'm in an arena with about 10,000 people every night going ape poo for him. He is selling the most merchandise. Continuing saying, the beautiful thing for our business, unlike a movie or TV show or even a book, we have a focus group every night. As we begin to tell these stories, they can tell this is working, this is not working. Whether people are bitching online, the reaction of people live. People say Jey Uso is terrible. What are they doing? Yeeting. The same people who are saying Jey Uso is terrible are yeeting. Merch, reaction of the crowd, everything he does, it's just the opinion of a few people. I could talk about this for like 20 minutes. I find this a really fascinating discussion and one that I'm looking forward to having with you. First of all, do you think Triple H is being fair in his assessment?
I genuinely think there is a disparity between what people say about Jey Uso online and what we see on television. I think online there is a discourse in general in wrestling that always waves towards the negative, and also the biggest social media platform currently on the internet encourages and in some cases financially incentivizes people to be negative. So of course people are going to always lean into that. I see a lot of people that have very negative takes on stuff that I genuinely don't believe they mean. I think they do it because it encourages engagement and it increases people coming to see them and it increases their sense of being. And I think I'm not saying that nothing is without reproach, but I'm just saying a lot of negativity online I think is driven not for like a true opinion. It's more driven because people make money and integration and interaction from it, not integration.
That's it. I think that rage basing has become more prominent. And you're right in that Twitter, X, financially incentivizes that because engagement is engagement, and if people engage with your tweet, more users will see ads and you will receive a kickback for that. So I think that's really fair. So I'm not sure how genuine a lot of that is. And it's all, sometimes anyway, it's a big old circle jerk as well, isn't it? It's like a few prominent people within the internet wrestling community, and I hate that expression so much. They will say something, and so everybody jumps on that bandwagon, even if they don't necessarily fully agree with it. I think there is a disconnect between Twitter and what is happening in the arenas. But the thing that Triple H sort of touches upon there that I think is really, really important, and people don't tend to perhaps think about enough, is the fact that that's one metric, and WWE have so many metrics at their disposal. They've got obviously the YouTube views, they've got the Netflix analytics, they've got merch, they've got the arena sounds, they've got all these data points that they can actually see what is working and what isn't working, and they literally hire people to do that job for them, to analyze all of that data. Is Triple H being endearing in this? Not really, but actually the people that he's slagging off, you and I, not that we rage bait,
My busy mate Paul.
The hardcore
we had
wrestling,
a lovely chat at Clash of the Castle that time.
The hardcore wrestling fans who are going to be tweeting about wrestling than the casual wrestling fans for sure. They're going to be watching regardless. I don't think it's as black and white as Triple H has made it seem in the minute and a half or whatever that he was talking there. But I do think in some ways he's being fair, because people have gone, oh, Cody's jumped the shark, or Jey Uso is crap, and just listen to the crowd reactions on top of the other metrics that they have access to. Wrestling's
such a unique entertainment piece, because you do get people who really get into the weeds on the behind the scenes and stuff. Like I might be in the wrong forums, so forgive me. I don't see this kind of discourse around EastEnders.
No.
And I don't see the writers of EastEnders or Ross Kemp going, just enjoy the ride. Just don't worry about it. Just enjoy the characters. And Triple H has always been very much very frustrated when people fantasy book, when they talk about the behind the scenes. He's like, oh, just watch the program, you bellends.
You know what? I think that's a fair point on his part, because wrestling is one of the few things that do that. You don't get the same thing with I don't know, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, where people will fantasy book the storylines.
Obviously, you get it in sport, like obviously like football and the NFL. And
but it's not storyline driven in this way.
You don't get storyline driven stuff that way.
And so those people that fantasy book that stuff don't necessarily get as upset when their fantasy booking doesn't play out on screen. And I think wrestling fans are quicker to get annoyed if they don't get things exactly how they saw them. And it's part of the internet, and it's part of being a smart wrestling fan, whatever you want to call it.
Smart.
That fantasy booking side of things is really, really fun. I enjoy doing it, but I think it is important to step back, and if it doesn't play out how you wanted to see it on screen, not get too upset. Just do enjoy the ride, because we're spoiled, aren't we? We're spoiled. I know what he's getting at, but he's not being endearing there. Just chill out, Triple H. We like.
On one hand, just chill out. Stop getting people riled up, because they'll just be angry online. And if you are angry online, hey, look, you know what? It sounds a bit grim, but we're a long time dead. Let's just enjoy what we've got going on in general. Just don't take life too seriously. None of us make it out alive.
And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. Nobody owes you anything, do they? You can just turn off and watch EastEnders, as Tom says.
That's it.
Whinge about that.
But our job here is to always talk about it. So even if we don't like it, we will always watch. You're very welcome. Triple H also spoke about Vince McMahon. He described him as getting more controlling of WWE as he got older. He referenced about how DX in the late 90s had a very loose leash on what they could do. And as soon as the ratings started going up and the Attitude Era really started taking off, Vince started writing all their segments, going, this is exactly what I want you to say. Like taking real control of it, to which Shawn Michaels on numerous occasions just kicked off at Vince about scripting everything that he said. He also added there were various points of time where he would become very controlling of things, very specific to how he wanted it to be. It's his prerogative. He's the boss. We would all talk about it and be like, it would be better if we did this. Even Pat Patterson would come to me and go, Vince wants to do this thing and it's so stupid. Let's do this instead. Pat, I talked to him until he was blue in the face. You go talk to him. So I think this is a common thing about Vince. Is like Vince goes, as soon as you see something start to take off, the bigger something becomes, the more Vince put his claws into it, and the more Vince McMahon-esque it became.
And you know what? I don't think that's surprising. And actually, I think that's really understandable of any boss. If something is becoming popular and, like if you think that you've got the golden touch, you are going to want to attach yourself to that project to try to ensure its success. The fact that Vince McMahon, as time went on, became more and more out of touch. I'm not talking about the Attitude Era here, where he was integral in, making that successful. But as time went on, he became more out of touch with sort of more general pop culture. And I think that was really reflected on screen. A lot of the programming felt very dated. And I think Vince McMahon was a really, really big part of that, but it doesn't surprise me at all. I think one thing that Vince was always really good at was not necessarily being the primary idea guy. He wouldn't come up with the concept, but he was very good at various points throughout his career, taking a concept, a pitch from somebody, and making it as good as it could possibly be. And I think we saw that a really good example of that is Austin.
Yeah, that's it.
Vince's fingerprints are all over that, and it's their most successful storyline ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Vince was good at. So no, it doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, as time went on, he lost that touch, didn't he?
Noted when he put a blue helmet on Karrion Kross that time. That was a thing, wasn't it? Remember when Karrion Kross got called up and he had the helmet? And they took away everything that was. I thought I might be thinking of Farouk from off of the 90s.
He was the gimp. He came in and he had the match with he had the match with Jeff Hardy, didn't he? And then he lost his match straight away. I forgot about that.
That's the anti-Midas touch. But Karrion Kross had his day yesterday on Monday Night Raw, and what was a bit of a nothing burger of a WrestleMania go home Raw. Lots of people talking about Karrion Kross last night, along with Scarlett, entered the arena with a gimmick refresh. It was his NXT gimmick, and it was something that we'd seen once prior that we thought would be a one-off. It's the full thing, and it's forever, baby. It's the Fall and Pray music. It's the black and white entrance. It's just classic Karrion Kross, but with longer hair. Come on.
It's about bloody time. And he had a hell of a Raw, as you say, a bit of an inconsequential Raw last night, especially for a go-home. I was going to bloody stream it. I'm glad I didn't. So he's getting AJ Styles ready to face Logan Paul. AJ versus Logan at WrestleMania, of course. Making sure that Styles has the killer instinct to beat Logan. A victory for the real wrestlers. He even seemed to sacrifice himself with a phenomenal forearm at the end. Happy in his work, getting AJ Styles ready. You know what? I'm so excited, and it's so nice. You want to talk about fan sentiment? The fan sentiment toward Karrion Kross now has been changing, and last night absolutely integral in that. And I think post WrestleMania, it's Kross's time.
Yeah,
he's really going to make the most of this, because there's never been any doubt about like how good a promo he can be, how great in the ring he can be. They've just not got it right, and it feels like finally they're getting things right.
And he proved it. He did that blistering 2.5 minute on his socials where he talked about the importance of AJ Styles beating Logan Paul. I had no idea that in terms of like the different ways that we've managed to gain intrigue for different WrestleMania matches in different ways. For Charlotte and Tiffany, it's been very real and very angry with one another. For Jey Uso and Gunter, it's leaning into some of that negative fan sentiment online that we talked about earlier. But who would have thought that Karrion Kross was going to be the linchpin of the Logan Paul AJ Styles feud? I care more about that match because of Karrion Kross.
Yeah. And everything that's going to come after, I'm really, really excited for. If you want to make a bit of quick cash, by the way, go on and just say something negative about Karrion Kross on Twitter. Make sure that you've got the blue tick. You make about $4 doing that.
There you go. Last night on Raw, it was also announced that we're getting yet another show from WWE during WrestleMania week.
That's right. The WrestleMania kickoff show taking place at 2 p.m. Pacific at the T-Mobile Arena Plaza in Las Vegas, starting 3 hours before SmackDown in the same venue. If you're unfamiliar, it's the one where Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, whoever comes on stage, and then wrestlers come out and they cut little promos, they get interrupted sometimes, they chat to the crowd. Cody Rhodes spotted a sign about Chris Chan's mum.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing that happened.
It's that one.
I want that sign off the internet.
So check that out, 2 p.m. Pacific.
As if you didn't have enough on your plate for WrestleMania, let's do another bit of Mania goodness. Best of luck to all our friends at Cultaholic who are heading out to Vegas. A big week for all the wrestlers. I know my mate Big Lou Nixon and Mr. Tim Strange flew out yesterday. They got a massive weekend ahead of them. Good luck, lads. Your boys, bring back some gold, etc. But it's a really, really exciting week for Mania. Loads of coverage across the week. 9 pitches, predictions, live reactions, WTF moments on Patreon, and what happened as well. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, as long as you don't cut down the internet, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.
And the bear.